the same way I've never had a problem with Lisa. I adore them both, and I wish them the best. But I still keep in touch a lot with Joanna, to this day.
Did Lisa get right back to you when you sent her the text about her kids? Like, did she ever get back?
You know what? Yeah, she did respond. Thank you so much. Short and sweet, and not because I'm going to take offense to that. It was short and sweet. Now she's a mom now. She's busy. There's other activities.
Right, totally.
On the kids now. So that's fine. I'm not going to make it something bigger that it's not. And if one day we have a time on one-on-one, I want to let her know, look, I'm still your friend, and, I know that she suffered a lot with that confrontation that they had. And what the truth is, I don't know. I wasn't there. Actually I was there, but I didn't witness anything. So.
Right. Right. And you think maybe she just feels like you chose Joanna's side just because you're so close to Joanna, but you really didn't.
And I told Joanna that. And I go, look, I'm friends with both of you. No one has done anything to me as far as both of you are concerned. So why would I have anything against you guys? So yeah. That
makes sense. What about Lea?
Lea, I've never had a qualm. I know in the show she would find, and sometimes like in the excerpts or in the parts that they would film her, and she's like, and she would make that, some dumb, silly comments. You know what? It's just, sometimes it's showed, sometimes it's TV, and sometimes she's trying to be funny. Since then, we've stayed in touch, and I have no problems with her. I think sometimes, and I think myself, I think you feel that sometimes when you're on the Housewives show and you're filming, you're like, oh my God, I have to bring my A game. And you really don't, just be yourself. You feel like, okay, I have to dramatize. I don't know.
Like dramatize.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm like, wait a second. Now I'm like second guessing it.
Do you have to?
Dramatize.
Okay, so I'm not the only one. Good.
I know I sound really dumb right now.
Well, no, so imagine how I feel.
I'm
not a brain for everything. So I'm like, well, you have to step it up a notch.
Yeah.
As far as drama is concerned, because it's a reality show. And I know people want that. But you don't. Just be yourself. And sometimes you would find yourself on the show. I'm like, okay, what do I sell? What do I say to sound crazier? Or more mean, or something. And you know what? If the producers cast you, it's for a reason. And you bring something to the table. It's not a Biggest Loser game that there's going to be one winner. We're all principals on the show. We're all going to have equal airtime. So be it. And that's kind of how I felt. So yeah, that's, some people to step up the game and will say some things. And I think sometimes there was oh God, I'll never forget. And I look back on it, I'm not going to lie to you, I cringed.
Yes.
There was an event, and of course the way how they edited was also, they make it look even worse. And I think everyone, whether they want to recognize it or not, cringed at some point throughout the different episodes. And I can't remember, we were at a little Lighthouse Foundation party, and I was with my then boyfriend, Rodolfo. And I don't know what we were talking about. We were saying about someone kissing and someone doing something. And oh my gosh, the only part that they filmed, or they filmed everything, but the only part that aired was a part that we were ridiculing or saying something about people kissing and about a tongue kissing or something. And we were funny. We were just being ourselves, not to act up for camera, just because we were acting out something. And God, for the life of me, can't remember. It's been too long. And we kiss each other by sticking each other's tongue out. And we like two little lizards give each other a kiss by tongue, like tongues touching. And that's the only part they put in. I wanted to die when that CD that they sent us, the DVD, they sent us a week ahead.
Yeah.
So write the movie. I wanted to I felt like it was horrible. I felt like an ostrich. I was like, find a hole. Can I please bury my head in the hole? I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like if I didn't know myself, I wouldn't like myself. I looked so obnoxious, and I go, oh my God, is that is that me?
Just based on the edit.
Oh my God, yes, it was horrible. It was horrible. And I'm like, oh my God, it was just, I cringed. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that week I wrote my blog and I don't think I ever went out that week. It was just, there was a couple of times I was like, oh. So do you do things and that filming, and then when they filmed that, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Did it get exhausting though? Like when some of the girls like were trying to like be overly dramatic or play up for the camera or fight for camera time?
It did. And like, I'll remember one episode that I completely remember. And it was an event. It was Alexia and Herman's event. And this, I can say we're at the event, and I had personally spoken to Herman Echevarria, her ex-husband, or was going to be future ex-husband. He had personally invited me to this event, and they would have a party to to launch that month's magazine.
Yeah.
So I had personally spoken to him, and he had invited me to come to the event. And then he goes, Karent, I'm going to send you an email so you can RSVP. To Herman, thank you. Yes, I'll be happy to go. I RSVP'd also via email. Okay, the party starts happening. It's in a hotel somewhere in downtown Miami. And, obviously they're filming. So we get mic'd up. I get there. Then I get to, where all the girls are sitting down, and I'm sitting there. And Alexia just wanted to step it up. And once again, sound and look as petty as she always did. And she formed a show like in front of everyone, started screaming at me that I just try to appear at every single red carpet, every party, even without being invited to. And that I wasn't invited to this party. And I looked at her, and she obviously really believed that I wasn't invited, that I just wanted camera time or just to show up.
Yeah.
And I go, Alexia, what are you talking about? Your husband personally invited me. So that must have come as a shock to her.
Yeah.
And I go, and I have emails to prove it. I have the invitation from Herman that he invited me. So she kind of had to have her tail between her legs because, of course she wasn't going to show it while she's still filming. She's like, you're lying, this and that, whatever. And I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of crying. I was so frustrated because it was a perfect example of like, what have I done to you? Because at this point, nothing has come up, of anything else. And I'm like, what have I done to you? Why do you just want to literally try to bring your A game to come out as the meanest person on the show for no reason? And I'll never forget, and I was not going to give her the satisfaction of crying on the show. I was like, Karent, I would talk to myself